So, hello, folks. Welcome to this lecture of discussion of the arrangements quiz 2. If you have not given that quiz so far and you're attending the lecture or watching the recording on YouTube, please go to the website, link in description, and first give the quiz before watching this lecture. And apart from that, we also have had a couple of Venn diagram quizzes and arrangements quiz number 1, the lectures of which are already up. So, do attempt those and watch the recordings as well, because we have tried to cover very minute and important topics and tricks in each of those lectures, right? So let's begin with lecture for arrangements too. So guys, how did you find this quiz? Was it tougher, easier, lengthy? What are your thoughts on this quiz? Easy. All right. All right. I'm glad you found it easy because, again, there are only a few tricks which were remaining, in my opinion, that we should cover and know in arrangements. So I sort of tried to include them in this quiz. So if you found it easy, that means I'm happy that you already know those tricks, right? So quickly, let's just get into the set number 1 and uh, look on how we can do this quickly. All right. So, exactly 10 families stay in a colony where the shape and size of all the houses allotted to each family are exactly the same. These 10 houses are situated on the two sides of a straight road, and the front gates are opening into the road in such a way that one set of houses situated on one side of the road is directly opposite to the other set of 5 houses situated on the other side of the road. Okay. The families residing in these houses are identified with the surnames Ambani, Arora, Bajaj, Bose, Gupta, Patak, Sen, Sharma, Singh, and Tilak. Okay. So we have 10 families, 10 houses. Clearly, it's an arrangement set in double row, right? So we know this concept, but let's see how we can figure it out from the clues. Okay. Then they tell us that they were asked to identify the relative positions of these houses, and each person indicated the left and right sides with respect to his own perspective, assuming that he was standing in front of his own house facing the road. Okay. So if a person is standing here and this is the road and these are the other houses, right? The person is facing this side and talking left and right. Okay. Thus, if a person talks about the houses which are not in the row of his own house, actual direction of those houses will be opposite to what has been stated. Okay. So for a person standing here facing outside, this is left clearly and this is right. Whereas for a person, let's say in this house facing towards the road, this is left and the opposite is right. Correct? But here we've been given one slight change, that if this person is reporting the relative positions of different houses, he will report it from his perspective, not from their perspective. So this house might be to the left of this house for this person. But for this person, this house is to the right. So this person will say right. So what we need to understand, I think the only trick in this question is to visualize in first person perspective. Correct? So in the arrangements 1 quiz, we learned a bit about cardinal directions trick that they can ask. This set, I believe, was more into the proper left, right, and opposite directions and how we need to visualize them. Okay. All right. So what do we know? Um, yeah. Now, for example, if the houses of Mr. Tilak and Mr. Sharma are in different rows, Mr. Tilak says there are 3 houses situated to the left of Mr. Sharma's house. In reality, there will be 3 houses situated to the right if you see from Mr. Sharma's perspective. Okay, that's it. So let's just look at the clues and start making our arrangement. Right. Now, clue number 1 tells us that the number of houses to my left and right is exactly the same as the number of houses situated to the left and right of Mr. Bajaj's house, respectively. And we've been given so on and so forth. So clearly, I need to make a diagram of 5 houses on one side of the road, 5 houses on the other side of the road, and try to place these people in order to satisfy all the points. Okay. ठीक है, let's start doing that. Clue number one. Mr. Patak then says that the number of houses to my left and right is exactly the same as number of houses situated to the left and right of Mr. Bajaj, respectively. So let's see the first thing. First thing I need to understand is whether Mr. Patak and Mr. Bajaj are on the same row or different rows, right? Now, if Mr. Patak says that to his left and to his right, let's say there are X and Y houses, okay? And he says that's the same with left and right, respectively, for Mr. Bajaj. So, guys, is it possible that Mr. Patak and Mr. Bajaj can be in the same row? No, right? Because if, let's say, Mr. Patak has two houses on the one house on the left and three houses on the right, there is no way Mr. Bajaj can also have one house on the left and three on the right. So that is not possible. So we have established that Mr. Patak and Mr. Bajaj are in opposite rows. Okay. Also, what has been told to me that Mr. Bajaj has at least one house to both his left and his right. Okay. Take. So we will have to start making cases. And I know for a fact that Mr. Bajaj cannot be on either ends. Mr. Bajaj will either be at one of the middle positions, like let's name these positions as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 house, and 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And the same for this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. By the way, in these tables, the gray line that you see is the road. All right. All right. So now what do we know? That Mr. Bajaj is not on the ends, right? So let's assume that Mr. Bajaj is over here. Okay. Now in that case, Mr. Bajaj has one to the left because we are talking from Mr. Patak's perspective, who is in the opposite row, right? So Mr. Bajaj has one to the left and three to the right. And that's the same for Mr. Patak. So I know that Mr. Patak will be over here. Correct? So I can establish the fact that if somebody is telling that left and right is exactly the same, that means they are opposite to each other. This is established. Okay. All right. Another case could be clearly Mr. Bajaj over here and Mr. Patak over here. We'll come to that case. Let's first deal with case number one. Okay. So this is about Mr. Bajaj and Mr. Patak. Coming to clue number two. The number of houses to the left. So by the way, there will be another case, guys. I'm not forgetting a case. Don't worry. There will be another case where Mr. Bajaj is at position number 4. So we will also come to that. First time starting with Mr. Bajaj at position number 2. Okay. Mr. Bose said the number of houses to the left of Mr. Bajaj's house is same as the number of houses I have to my right. Very interesting. Now again, I will have two cases. I'll have to think of two cases. Whether Mr. Bose is in the same row as Mr. Bajaj or opposite row. Correct? Now, let's assume it's the same row. Suppose. In which case, Bose and Bajaj are facing the same direction as well. So, the number of houses to the left of Mr. Bajaj, which is 3 in this case, if they're in the same row, right? There are 3 houses to the left of Mr. Bajaj if they are facing the same direction, right? Is the same as the number of houses I have to my right, which means Mr. Bose will have to be over here. Do you agree? Yes. Perfect. Now, the second case will obviously be when they are in the opposite rows. So, let's take sub case number 2 for this. Now, if Bose is in the same row as Mr. Patak, then how does the clue read? The number of houses to the left of Mr. Bajaj's house, which is 1. If you are looking from this side, right? Is same as the number of houses I have to my right. So in that case, Bose will be on number 9, which is over here. Cool? Everybody with me? And what does the second half of the statement say? That Mr. Sen is my immediate neighbor. So Mr. Sen can be at position number 3 or 5 in the subcase number 1 or position number 8 and 10, 8 or 10 in the subcase number 2. So I will hold on to that information until I have something more. Now, since I've discussed about Mr. Bajaj, Patak, Bose, and Mr. Sen has been mentioned, for now I will skip Mr. Ambani's point and I will move to Mr. Sen's point. Okay. Mr. Sen said, neither Mr. Patak nor Mr. Bajaj are my immediate neighbor. So that sort of helps us to putting Mr. Sen over here. Okay. The number of houses to my left and right is exactly the same as the number of houses situated to the left and right of Mr. Gupta. Guys, I think we already learned in point number 1, this left right combination respectively, if it's same, that means they are opposite to each other. That's the only implication. Yes. So I know that Mr. Gupta is opposite Mr. Sen in either cases. Okay. So clue number 1 was done, clue number 2 was done, and 4 was done. Okay. Now I have Mr. Gupta as well in clue number 5. So I'll go there first before going anywhere else. Mr. Gupta said that Ambani's house is 2 places to the left of my house. Now, guys, if Gupta is over here, there is no place to the left. So therefore, this case is not possible. Correct? So I will completely scrap this case out. And now what have I been told? Mr. Ambani's house is 2 places to the left of my house. So Ambani will be over here. And Mr. Sharma's house is 2 places to the left of Mr. Tilak's house. Right? Mr. Ambani is not a neighbor of Mr. Bose. So that is already sort of understood by us. Yes. Mr. Sharma's house is 2 places to the left. Now, these 2 places are not 2 places. That means I know for a fact that Mr. Sharma and Mr. Tilak are opposite row as Mr. Gupta. So, Sharma is to the left. Don't look at it from that perspective. Look at it from Mr. Gupta's perspective. Okay. So, Sharma will have to be over here and Tilak will have to be over here. Everybody with me? Going to clue number 3, which we had skipped for the time being. Mr. Ambani said the number of houses situated to the left of Mr. Patak, okay, is same as the number of houses situated to the right of Mr. Singh. So Mr. Singh comes over here clearly. And one person is left. Who is left? Yes, Mr. Arora is left. So Arora comes here. And that's it. So from the first case which we had taken, assuming Mr. Bajaj at position number 2, this is the arrangement which satisfy all the positions. Okay. Let's look at case number 2, where Mr. Bajaj is on position number 3. Let's see how that plays out. Now, again, repeating the same cycle, Mr. Patak said the number of houses to my left and right is this. So we know they are opposite. Hence, we have taken Mr. Bajaj and Patak at number 3 and number 8 respectively. All right. What does clue number 2 tell me? The number of houses to the left of Mr. Bajaj's house is the same number of houses as Mr. Right, as right to Mr. Bose. Now, guys, if Mr. Bajaj is in the middle, there is no way this condition can be fulfilled. So from the very second statement, I know that this case is not possible. So I can eliminate this case. All right, this helps us. So now the last case is simply taking Mr. Bajaj at position number 4 and getting Mr. Patak at position number 9. And that's it. We run the same drill. Again, we will have 2 cases with respect to Mr. Bose. One of those cases will get eliminated and the second case will fulfill all your conditions. Is this clear how to approach this set? It was not tricky, just the only chance of making a mistake here was getting confused in the left, right and perspective. So the best thing that you can do in such situations is just plain first person perspective and you will not make mistakes. Okay. So I'm not making this whole case. This is homework for you because I've done my homework on this. So we can just move on to the questions now. Okay. These are the 2 cases that you will get finally. Question number 1. Which of the following statements is definitely false? So definitely false means that the statement has to be false in both the cases. Even if it's true in one of them, we cannot say it's definitely false. Right? So, statement number 1. There are two houses between Mr. Bose and Mr. Sharma's house. Bose and Sharma, that's definitely true. It's not definitely false. Guys, don't make that mistake, yeah? Clue number two. Option number two. Mr. Tilak's house is located between the house of Mr. Bose and Patak. Not in the first case. Second case, yes, but not definitely false. Mr. Arora is Mr. Patak's immediate neighbor. Again, not true in both the cases. One of them, yes. So this is my answer. Question number two. Whose house is located to the immediate left of Mr. Patak's house? Okay, immediate left of Mr. Patak's house. If there are two houses located between Mr. Sen and Mr. Bajaj. So Mr. Sen and Bajaj, two people, this is the one. So Mr. Patak is over here. Left of him is Mr. Arora. Yes. Again, here don't forget your left and rights. First person perspective. Because even after solving everything, you might end up making mistake in this question. Right? So question number three. Whose house is located two places to the left? I'll just erase this. Whose house is located two places to the left of the house, which is exactly opposite Mr. Singh. So Mr. Singh opposite is Bose, and two places to the left there is nobody. Mr. Singh's opposite is Mr. Bose, and again two places to the left is nobody. So no such house exists. Okay. All right. Moving to question number 4. Mr. Gupta wants to visit Mr. Bose, Mr. Patak, Mr. Ambani, and Mr. Sharma. So I have Mr. Gupta visiting Mr. Bose, Mr. Pathak, okay, Mr. Ambani, and Mr. Sharma. Okay. On a Sunday morning, whose house will he visit last if he decides to visit the houses in an increasing order of distance? Clearly, Mr. Sharma. Nothing to think of. Yes. All right. Last question. Which of the following statements is definitely correct if stated by Mr. Arora standing in front of his house facing the road? Okay. Mr. Arora is standing in front of his house. So this is Mr. Arora here and over here. Mr. Tilak's house is located two places to the left of Mr. Sharma's house. Tilak, Sharma, two places to the left. Guys, is this correct? Is statement number 1 correct? In the first case. No, because Mr. Arora will not say left. Mr. Arora will say right in this case. Because Tilak and Sharma are opposite side of the road. So that's the wrong option. Mr. Gupta's house is located 4 places to the right of my house. Okay. I think that is true in both the cases, and that's it. That is my answer. All right, folks. So I hope this set is clear. It was a little case heavy, and the only trick and thing that you need to take care of in this set was the left and right. So let's move to set number 2. Okay. All right. So guys, again, this is a set which has some sort of combination. So what is the thing that I've told you to take care of in such sets, and what have I told you to start with in such sets? You have to first, absolutely, you have to first start with figuring out the attributes, which in this case is the order in which they were coming in and what chairs they were occupying, right? So let's read the set very quickly. In a classroom, there were 7 chairs in a straight line from left to right, all facing the same direction. Of the 7 chairs, 2 chairs had both seat cushions and handles. Okay. 2 chairs did not have the seat cushions but had handles. And 3 chairs had neither seat cushions nor handles. Okay. On a particular day, 7 students A, C, D, M, P, R, S came into the classroom at different times and occupied the chairs. When any student came into the classroom, if a chair which had both cushion and handle was unoccupied, he sat in it. Of course, I think this is something we all would do as students. Whatever is the best spot or whichever is the last seat in the class, we will all occupy that. Anywho, if these chairs were all occupied, a student sat in the chair which did not have cushions but had handles. So at least something better than nothing. And if those chairs were also occupied, then a student would sit in any unoccupied chairs available. If two chairs of the same type were available, the student selects any of the two chairs at random. The following information is known about the order in which they came into the classroom. Okay. So clearly, we have to figure out what order they came in, because that would also tell us which chair they might have occupied. We need to figure out the order in which the chairs are kept and where the person is sitting. So there's a lot to figure out in this, but I'm sure all of it will come together pretty well. And why is that? Because if you look at the questions, it's very visible that it's a complete set. I will get all the data that I need. There is no uh, cannot be determined. There is no definitely or something, right? So I am sure more. Okay, there is one definitely true. So apart from that, it's complete. So I believe most of it we will be able to figure out. So let's just do that. Okay. All right. Clue number one. Andy, who came in immediately before Davies. So Andy came in before Davies. So that means I know Andy cannot come seventh. Davies cannot come first. Right? Guys, again to repeat myself for the nth time. What is the clue telling us? What is the clue not telling us? And what is the clue negating? Take everything out. Okay. Is sitting in a chair which does not have seat cushion but has handles. So I know that if Andy is sitting in a chair which does not have seat cushions, means Andy cannot be first or second, but his chair has handles. That means he cannot be in the last three as well, right? So that leaves spot number, oops, not this one, spot number 4 and 5 for Davies. Correct? Because I know Davies was immediately after Andy. Yes. Clue number 2. Chris, who was the third person to come in. So clearly I know Chris is the third person. So nobody else came in third. So therefore I know Andy came in fourth and Davies came in fifth. So I can complete this as well. Okay. Is sitting in a chair which is 2 places away from the chair on the extreme left. So I know C is sitting over here. All right. Okay. Clue number 3. The chair in which Pete is sitting has neither cushion nor handles. So Pete is definitely not among the first two and is to the immediate left of the chair in which Steve is sitting. Okay. So from this, what do I know? That Steve cannot sit here and Pete cannot sit here. And I know that Pete and Steve are sitting together in this order. Okay, that's all I can say. Guys, I hope none of you took any further assumptions that because Pete's chair has no cushion or handles, you can say anything about Steve's. You cannot. Because we have not been told that the chairs are arranged in that order of 1 to 7. Okay. We have just been given the attributes about the chairs and the order of people coming in. That's it. Clue number 4. Two chairs at extreme ends are of the same type, and at least 3 person came in before Randy, who was not last to come into the classroom. So R is not last, and at least 3 people came in. So therefore, R can only come on 6th position. Yes. And therefore, P can only come at 7th position. Okay, so this is what I have. The extreme ends clue I will take. I will hold that for now. But my table is almost complete. Apart from M and S, I know exactly what order they all came into the classroom and which chairs they are occupying. So first two are cushion and handle. 3 and 4 are only handle. And 5, 6, 7 are none. Okay. I know all of us know, but just stating it for the obvious. All right. Davies is sitting 2 places to the right of Chris. So Davies is sitting over here. Okay. Perfect. While Steve is not sitting adjacent to Chris. Okay, I think this helps us crack the case to a very good extent. Now, S cannot sit here as well. So the only way P and S can sit together is if P sits here and S sits here. Correct? This is the only way I'm left with for placing these two people, right? The three chairs. So also, by the way, I know if S is sitting over here and the extreme ends, the seats were same. So the only other person who can sit on a chair which has cushion and handles is M. So M will sit over here. Yes? All right. The three chairs which have neither seat, cushions nor handles are not all immediately next to each other. Guys, again, a very small, subtle trick in language. It does not say that none of them are together. It says they are not all immediately next to each other, which means two of them can be together, but not three of them. I hope all of you were able to identify this. This was a subtle language trick in this. Okay. So who am I left to place with? A and R. And who are in the bottom three? Bottom three, I have D, P, and R. So D and P are here. So R cannot be beside D. So R will have to be here and A will be here. And that's it. I have figured out everything I can. As we had expected, there is just a very slight amount of incompleteness in this set. Rest everything we were able to figure out. So let's just move to the questions. All right, let's look at question number 2. For how many students can it be said that the number of students sitting to the left of him is definitely the same as the number of students who came into the classroom before him? Okay, now that's interesting. R left is M. M definitely came. So yes, we can say about R. Yes. How about C? C has R to the left, so we can't say that about C. Now, guys, understand that we don't actually need to figure out everybody, right? The only other person for which this will be true is P because R is second last. So that's it. This is my answer. Because for all of these, R will be after them in order of arrival. So the answer to this is 2. Which of the following is definitely true of the chair that Randy is sitting in? So R is sitting in this chair which has no cushion, no handles. So option C. How many students are sitting to the right of the student who came, who was the fifth person to come in? So fifth was D. To the right, there are 2 people. And that's it. Last question. Who among the following is definitely sitting adjacent to Davies? A and P. So A is the answer. And that's it. Again, a very simple set, but you just had to figure out the attributes, not fall for the simple language trick that was there in the last clue. And that's it. I think it was a pretty straightforward set. Yes. Let's move on to the set number 3. So I've been given 6 employees who work in the office and they enter the cafeteria for lunch at different times. Guys, what have I taught about timing? Be it a party, be it a hospital, be it a cafeteria. What's the best way to work on the timings? Timeline, absolutely. You could have made a table in this set, absolutely no issues. But I really found the timeline method much, much easier in this one. All right. Let's discuss it and let's see how you feel about that. Okay. So, how do I make the timeline? Very simple. This is my timeline. Okay. So I know there is one person coming in at 12:15. There is one person coming in at 12:45. There is one person coming in at 1, and this 12:15 person will leave at 1. Right? I know this for sure. All right. Then there's one person coming in at 1:30, and this 12:45 person will leave at 1:30. Okay. There's one person coming in at 1:45, and this 1 o'clock person will leave at 1:45. Okay. There's another person coming in at 2 o'clock. All right. This 1:30 person will leave at, so I'll just write 2 o'clock. Okay. This 1:30 person will leave at what time? 2:15. Yes. So this is 2:15. Then this 145 person will leave at 2:30. And the last 2 o'clock person will leave at 2:45. Is the timeline clear, guys? We've been told uh, they exactly stay 45 minutes. So if I know the entry times, I can figure out the exit times, which is exactly what we have done, right? Okay. What else do we know? During a particular day, each person 45 minutes, any two employees would have met in the cafeteria if and only if they both spend more than 1 minute in the cafeteria together. Guys, what does this mean? That whoever entered and exited here, here, and here would not have met each other, correct? And I think this definition is very, very important to reduce any sort of ambiguity which might be there in the set. Clue number one: Vijay and Tarak were in the cafeteria together for at least 15 minutes. Tarak visited the cafeteria before Vijay did. So, sort of an indirect clue, I cannot place any of them on the timeline just yet. So, I'll move on to the next clue and come back to this later. Pawan was not the last among the 6 employees to enter the cafeteria. So, I know 2 o'clock person coming in is not Pawan. Okay. Umesh, who entered the cafeteria before Ramesh did. So, Umesh came before Ramesh, entered the cafeteria 30 minutes after one of the 6 employees left the cafeteria. Very interesting. So, this employee left the cafeteria at 1 o'clock. So, Umesh could have entered at 1:30. Yes. Or this person left the cafeteria at 1:30. So, Umesh could have entered at 2 o'clock. Right? There is no person entering after 2 o'clock. So, these are the only two cases. Do we agree? But I also know Umesh is not the last person to enter because Ramesh came after Umesh. So, therefore, Umesh cannot enter at 2 o'clock. Hence, I know for a fact that Umesh will enter at 1:30 and Ramesh will enter after Umesh, right? Okay. So if Umesh is entering at 1:30, Umesh leaves at 2:15. Okay. Srinath met exactly one of the 6 employees in the cafeteria. Since this is an extreme statement, I will start with checking whether Srinath came in first or last. Now, if Srinath came in last, let's say at 2 o'clock, Srinath would have left at 2:45 and therefore would have met 2 employees, one who left at 2:15 and one who left at 2:30. So that does not hold true. Therefore, I know that Srinath will have to enter the cafeteria at 12:15 and leave at 1 o'clock. Correct? Clue number one: Vijay and Tarak were in the cafeteria together for at least 15 minutes. Yes? Now, since I know that R is going to be in the cafeteria after you, so R will enter either at 1:45 or 2 o'clock. Okay? So if Vijay and Tarak, right, even if I put them as close as possible, let's say one entering at 1 o'clock and one entering at 1:45, even then they won't be able to spend 15 minutes. Therefore, what I know is that Vijay and Tarak have to occupy the 12:45 and 1 o'clock slot. That's the only possibility. And I also know that Tarak was in the cafeteria before Vijay. So Tarak came in here, Vijay came in here, R has to come over here because P cannot, and P is here, R is here, and that's it. My set is over. I hope this is clear, guys. And why is this timeline better? Again, of course, we will look at the questions and you, I hope, will be able to appreciate how we're able to answer the questions faster in a timeline than we do for the same concept in a table. Okay. Question number one. So, by the way, on the diagram below, every mention above the line is entering the cafeteria, every mention below the line is leaving the cafeteria. Okay. Question number one: Who was the last person to enter the cafeteria? Of course, it was Ramesh. At which of the following times would both Vijay and Umesh have been in the cafeteria? So Vijay and Umesh would have to be after Umesh entered and before Vijay left. So this is what I know. Hence, anytime between 1:30 and 1:45, which is 1:35. Okay. If no employee other than the 6 employees visited the cafeteria, okay, who would have met the maximum number of employees in the cafeteria. All right. As I know met only one person. By the way, who does a person meet? Whoever has entered after them and left or left before them. Correct? So, for example, T here does not meet you. T will meet these two people. That's it. So that is how I will count in a timeline, which makes this slightly faster than the table. So S met only one person, T met two people, V met two people as well, U met one, two, three people, P met one, two people, and R met again two people. And that's it. My answer is U. I hope you're able to appreciate this a little better, that with timeline, it's faster to count these things like intersection, alone, maximum number of people, and all of that. Last question. Who among the following could have spent the maximum time alone in the cafeteria? So S definitely spent 30 minutes, right? T was never alone. This was never alone. The only other person who has been alone in the cafeteria was R, and which was 15 minutes after P left. So the answer clearly is Srinath for this. I believe this was the easiest set of this test. Yes. And if done right, this was not more than like 5 or 6 minute kind of a set. Had to make one timeline, you know the entries, you can derive the exits, and the clues were pretty direct, questions were pretty straightforward. So I think the easiest set among all of them, right? Let's move to the last set for the day. Alak Prajapati is the owner of a coaching center where he teaches physics. He has planned to take a class test of his 5 students, namely A, B, H, K, P. If 5 students are sitting around a circular table facing the center in some order, there are exactly 30 MCQ questions in the test that have to be answered in 1 hour. Correct answer will get 1 mark. No negative marking for incorrect or unattempted. After the exam, Alak gave them the answer keys so that the students could calculate the total scores. The following facts are known about the seating arrangements of the 5 students and their individual total scores in the test. Again, guys, what have we learned? When there is a combination uh, of sets with circular arrangement or any other arrangement, I know I'm repeating myself from the very first set. We will first try to get the other attributes, which will make our life easier in order to get the arrangement. Okay. All right. So let's start solving this. Clue number 1 tells me all the 5 scores are distinct, and those are in the range of 35 to 90% of the total maximum marks. Total maximum marks were nothing but 30 because 30 questions, 1 mark for each question. Also, guys, be careful. Lot of times, the wording what they give here will tell you whether somebody definitely had 35 and 90 or not, which in this case is clear that 35 and 90 is a given range, does not mean that one person will definitely have 35 or 90. Okay. So, what do I know? That the marks are natural numbers and they are between 35 and 90%, which gives me a range of 11 to 27 inclusive. Okay. Exactly 3 students scored 70% or more. So it's 21 to 27 for 3 students. Whereas the other 2 students scored less than 15, less than equal to 15. So it's 11 to 15 for the other 2 students. Again, all inclusive. Okay. Starting from the highest scorer, the individual scores decline in clockwise direction. I think this is a very good clue and this will help us a lot. So I know for a fact that ranker 1 will sit here, ranker 2 will sit here, ranker 3 will sit here, ranker 4 will sit here, and ranker 5 will sit here. Yes? Chalo. If we start from any student other than the lowest scorer, so other than this person, if we start from any student and add the scores of the 3 students sitting in consecutive positions in the clockwise direction, the summation is always prime. Okay, now this is where it starts getting interesting. So what do I know? R1 plus R2 plus R3 is a prime. Same for R2, R3, R4. Same for R3, R4 and R5, and R4, R5 and R1. Sorry, is equal to P. Also, what if we been told that apart from the last person? So that means I can say that R5 plus R1 plus R2 will not give me a prime, no prime, non-prime, whatever. Okay, cool. All right. What else do we know? Yes. So Kushi is sitting adjacent to neither Ayush nor Harjas. So who are the five people that we have? I have K, Ayush, Harjas, Pranav, and Vaibhav. These are the five people. And Kushi is not sitting adjacent to any of these two. Okay. We'll come to that again. Pranav, who scored the highest marks. So very clearly, Pranav is sitting over here. Okay. Sorted. Scored 2 marks more than Harjas. Okay. Now this is a very good clue. Why? Because now I know Harjas has to be R2 or R3. Yes. 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 Now, guys, tell me this. If Pranav is X, Pranav's marks are X. Okay. If I take Harjas over here at R3, and we know Harjas is X minus 2, what will be the marks of the person sitting at R2? X minus 1. Guys, what can we say about this? What can we say about this? That if these three are in like X, X minus 1, X minus 2, it becomes an AP. Yes. And sum of three numbers in an AP can never be a prime number. We all know that. Yes, so we will remember this. I'm sure this information will come in handy going forward as well. Sum of the three terms in an AP can never be a prime number. Okay. So therefore, I know for a fact that Harjas will have to be rank number 2, right? And X minus 2. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see how do we move forward. Yeah, we were told that Kushi is sitting adjacent to Ayush, Pranav and Vaibhav. Correct? What's the doubt? Okay. Okay. So I'll repeat if that is not clear, right? If Harjas sits at position number 3 and his marks are X minus 2, the person who will be at rank number 2 will have marks X minus 1. These three numbers will become an AP X, X minus 1, X minus 2. Correct? And sum of any three numbers in an AP can never be a prime number because that will always be a multiple of 3. At least in this case. Not always, but maybe, but not in this case, right? I think even always, no? X minus 1, X plus 1. Yeah, it will always be a multiple of 3. So, ठीक है, cool. So hence I know that Harjas cannot be rank number 3. Yes. So what we were discussing is that Kushi is sitting adjacent to Pranav and Vaibhav. So Kushi cannot sit at R2 because Harjas is sitting there. So I know Kushi is rank 5, Vaibhav is rank 4, and the last person who's left, Ayushi, is rank 3. So I know where they're sitting. I know what their ranks are. Now I need to figure out what their marks are. Correct? Okay. The last point tells me sum of marks obtained by Ayushi and Vaibhav is an even number. Okay. So I have been told that A plus B's marks are even number. Okay. Guys, there are only two possibilities where these can be an even number. Either both are even or both are odd. Correct? We know that for sure. Let's assume both are even. Let's assume both are even. Let's say this is even and this is even. Okay. Now, I also know that P and H, P Pranav and Harjas, their marks are 2 marks apart. So if Pranav's marks are even, Harjas will also be even. Yes. But if Pranav becomes an even number marks, Harjas becomes even, Ayushi is already even. We cannot get a prime number by adding those three. So Pranav and Harjas cannot be even. Yes. Similarly, if Pranav is odd, Pranav's marks are odd and Harj's marks are also odd, which they will be because the difference is 2. When I add them, even that will give me an even number, which when added to Ayushi's marks again will not be a prime number. So by this logic, I can conclude that A and B's marks are odd numbers. Yes, everybody with me? I can conclude that A and B's marks are odd numbers. Okay. Now let's look at Pranav and Harjas again. Since I know if Pranav and Harjas can either be both even or both odd, right? But let's isolate Harjas for a bit. Here I know A and B are both odd and the sum is even. So Harjas has to be an odd number to make the sum prime. Harjas cannot be even. Yes, guys? Harjas cannot be even. So this has to be odd. And I know Pranav and Harjas have the same uh, marks in terms of odd even. So Pranav will also be odd. With the same logic, if I have to make the sum of marks of A, B, and K a prime number, K also has an odd marks. So this is very interesting that all of them actually have odd marks. Yes. Okay. Now let's start cracking what are their marks. Now I think this was the difficult part. Rest of it going ahead is a cakewalk. Okay. Now I know the top 3 have scores from 21, 23, 25, and 27. Correct? Okay. If I take Pranav's marks as 25, the other two will become 23 and 21. And what did we just discuss? Numbers in AP cannot give you a prime number when 3 of them are added. So AP is not possible. Therefore, I know Pranav has to score 27. Pranav has to score 27. Harjas I already know is X minus 2. So Harjas is 25. Right? Again, if I take 23 for Ayushi, so that becomes an AP. That is not allowed. So therefore, I know Ayushi will be 21. Yes. Again, the AP thing. See, guys, one way, of course, is you can start adding and make cases and see which is a prime number. But this is a smarter approach. AP can never give you prime when you add 3 terms of an AP. Yes. So we know the marks of Pranav, Varjas, and Ayushi. Now, between these two, I have 11, 13, and 15. Correct? Before I start taking cases, what I can see here is 11, 13 will give me 24, 13 and 15 will give me 28, and 11, 15 will give me 26. Yes. Adding 21 to which of them will give me a prime number? This becomes a 5, so this is definitely not the combination. Yes. This becomes 49, so this cannot be a combination. Therefore, the only combination left is 11 and 15. So Vaibhav has to be 15, K has to be 11, and that's it. Our set is over. Understanding these concepts thoroughly will help you save a lot of calculation. You could have taken all sorts of cases and added, and we didn't actually derive any prime number, if you saw that. We just use the logic of 3 numbers in an AP cannot give you a prime number. That's it. And that's set. The set is cracked open. Yes. Let's answer the questions and be done with this set. If each student attempted only those questions, so we have the marks and everything, right, on the diagram. If the students attempted only those questions which they answered correctly, and Alak applies -1/3 marks as penalty for not attempting. Okay. How many of the students modified score will be an integer? Now, of course, in this, what you can sit and do is, okay, the K person attempted 11, got 11 correct, did not attempt 19. So we'll get -19/3 and I will get my answer. But that's inefficient. That is not what we do. The only way this number will be an integer is if this is a multiple of 3. And why does this work? Understand that. Let's just very quickly understand what I'm saying and why I'm saying this. Let's say somebody answers X questions correctly. And that's what they've attempted. So whatever they have not attempted is basically 30 minus x. And you are getting minus 1 by 3 over here. And this is some integer I. Yes. This can only be an integer if this is a multiple of 3, because if x is a multiple of 3, this whole thing becomes a multiple of 3. And if this becomes a multiple of 3, this 3 cancels out. So I don't actually have to calculate the marks. I just know P, A, and B will be the 3 people who will have integer marks. All right. So again, this question was very simple if you had just applied some basic logic. Okay. Question number 2. Alak noticed that all the students attempted all the questions as there was no penalty for wrong answers. Okay. He decided to reevaluate all the papers with a penalty of minus 1 marks for each wrong answer. Okay. What is the average of the 5 scores after the introduction of the penalty for new marks, negative marks? So again, what you can do is you can sit and calculate, okay, P got 27, got a minus 3. You can get all of those scores. But is there a smarter way? Yes, of course, there is a smarter way. I don't have to do so much calculation. There is a very simple way. If I just add all of them, I know the total for each of them is equal to 30. Yes. If I just add all of them, what will I get? 40, 40 and 50, 90 and uh, 40 and 50, 90 and 99. Yes. And then I know total was 150. So 51 will get subtracted. I will be left with 48 upon 5 will give me the answer 9.6. And that's it. Question over. Right? You didn't really have to actually calculate each person's score. Again, there was a smarter, faster way to do it. All right. Third question. The maximum value of difference total score between any two students adjacent will obviously be between P and K, which is 16 marks. How many of the 5 individual scores are prime numbers? There's only one, K, which is a prime number. Yes. Okay. The number of students whose scores can be uniquely determined. Guys, even if you were not solving this set, just by looking at question number 4 and 5, you could have answered 5 for this. Because if all of them are not determined, you cannot answer question number 4, which is an MCQ. So even if you were not doing this set, you could have just been a little smart and gotten these 3 extra marks for free. And it's theta, of course. So there's nothing to lose. But this was not even a gamble. This was a short 3 marks. All right. So that's it for today's lectures. And I'll see you guys in the next class with tables and matrix discussion.